This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Michael Conlan over Zoom. Mick, first and foremost, how are you doing?
All good, Andy, all good. Pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate your time, mate. Obviously, I know you'll be busy and you'll be wanting to get back in the gym like many, but you're obviously in a different circumstance than most because of the fact you're over in Northern Ireland. How are you finding like in lockdown at the minute?
If I'm honest, it's been handy enough for me. I've enjoyed it. I've been home with my family, which I don't get to do too often, and it's been that for the last 9 or 10 weeks or 12 weeks, however long it's been. So, yeah, listen, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I'm at home. I'm training. So I haven't really missed any training. I have a gym in the garage, so I'm able to work away. So it's been good. I've really enjoyed it.
What can you do training wise? What kind of level do you push yourself at, knowing that up until today, when the top rank shows return, there hasn't been any boxing. So what
Yeah,
have you been doing training wise?
I've been training normal. Training like crazy, doing my normal kind of work. I've kind of cut my sessions down from twice a day to once a day, but now it's actually come back up to twice a day. So, the only thing I haven't been able to do is spar, because that's a completely different thing. You got to get in the ring with someone else, and obviously with everything going on with COVID, you can't do it. So I've been able to do pads and stuff with my dad, who is the Irish Olympic coach, and I was able to get some pad work in with him anytime I wanted, and he was able just to do some of the coaching for me as well. So yeah, I've got an awful lot in. I have bag, strength, condition, and everything I need to do is all here.
Mick, I actually saw today that you had the pleasure of having some Vada testers turn up
Yeah,
and go through
yeah.
the procedure with you. What was that like?
Um, you know what? It was strange because this morning I I didn't even know I was fully signed up to Vada yet. I know I was told in December you're getting signed up to Vada. I was like, no problem, but I had no confirmation if I was signed up or anything. So I didn't really know. And then obviously my brother Jamie, who is my manager at the same time, he was like handling everything out for me, and he was obviously doing the whereabouts where I was and stuff. And I didn't know this. But I got a phone call this morning. It woke me into bed. I was up to 3 a.m. playing Call of Duty, and I got woke out of bed by a guy saying, "Hey, Michael, it's from England. I think he was from Blackwood or somewhere around there." Um, and he's like, "I'm with Vada, and I'm coming to your house in the next 10 minutes. Are you home?" And I said, "Yes, I'll be in, no problem." So he just came testing me. I was like, I didn't even know Vada were testing again. They had announced they had stopped testing. I was like, okay, well, I'll not obviously not be getting tested anytime soon, but you know, it was obviously today I get tested, and it's probably one of the first on the list because I went on to their Twitter, and they had only said yesterday that people need to update their whereabouts as they're going to be testing people, and they test me the next day. I only seen that today, so if I hadn't had that stuff filled in, I would have been in trouble with a missed test, and people would have been going, "Oh, he's doping," but a load of bollocks.
Given the whole kind of obviously the social distancing rules and what have you that are in place, how did it all actually work out this time round in comparison to a normal random drugs test?
Um, yeah, basically the same. Only I had to use my own pen, so I had to search the house to find a pen to fill in the forms. They gave me gloves and a face mask, which was good. They cleaned everything. Um, but other than that, it was handy. It was one guy in, one guy out. Easy enough. The only thing they don't do is stand over the top of you like they always do and sit and watch you piss. They have to just stand behind you because they can't be too close. Um, but yeah, it was basically the same. Like,
Obviously, away from your experiences with the Vada testers this morning, let's get on to your boxing career. You was obviously meant to fight on St. Patrick's Day
yeah.
out in New York, and that got postponed. You just completed your press conference, I believe, until you'd found out. Talk to me about that experience when you reflect on it all. What's your overall thoughts on it?
Um, yeah, I was one of the first shows cancelled. Myself and obviously Shakur, who's boxing tonight. We were both boxing within a few days of each other. He was boxing on the Saturday. I was boxing on the Tuesday, which was St. Patrick's Day. I kind of had a feeling of cautiousness or weirdness as soon as I arrived in New York. I was like, something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. We arrived on the Wednesday, so basically 6 days before. And sitting there Wednesday evening, we were told all flights were kind of going to be cancelled from Europe. And I was like, you know what? I want to get home to see my family. I don't want to be stuck in the US. If it means I'm not fighting, I'm not fighting. So be it. You know what I mean? So Top Rank were like, they want to go. And I says, I'll hold off because I'm a fighter and I want to fight. And I want to, obviously, I've had a full training camp. I want to get paid. And they were like, no problem. Them told the fights are behind closed doors. I says, no problem. I'm going to fight. It doesn't matter. And then after the press conference, even at the press conference, I was like, this is weird because everything with COVID and stuff, but we're standing face to face talking to reporters and journalists, and they're like, I don't mind talking to reporters and journalists, but if this COVID stuff is so bad and so crazy, why are we standing face to face talking to people? So anyway, I was a bit pissed off at that, but I kind of had got myself up. Like I couldn't wait to fight because after the press conference, I was just like, let's go. I'm ready to go now. And my weight was really on point, so I had done all the weight training, so I didn't really need to do much more. And then that evening, I was sitting eating kind of meal which was calorie restricted and stuff in the little bar across the road. And Jamie gets on the phone. Top Rank obviously rang, says the fights are off. As soon as he said it to me, I just grabbed his pizza and started eating his pizza. So something else I can help. I was straight into eating some real food. I was sick of eating dirty rabbit food.
When you reflect on that experience, what do you make of it with regards to what it will do for you long term, and knowing what you can if you can overcome the frustrations that would have created for you, you can deal with it in the future?
Well, if I'm honest, I was happy with how I reacted. As I just said, first thing I said was, listen, there's people dying. To myself, I says, there's people dying in the world, and I'm not dying. I'm not, I'm not broke or anything like that. I'm really in a good position in life. If I would let something like this upset me, how is the rest of the world feeling? I can't be a selfish little prick. So it was what it was. I kind of just took it on the chin and moved on. I was happy to be going home healthy to see my family.
Now, we know shows are returning. We've got the Top Rank shows returning tonight. Shakur Stevenson's actually headlining the card tonight in Vegas. But with yourself being in Ireland, I know you trained by Adam Booth, who's down south in the UK, in London. Firstly, with training, what's kind of your idea? What type of plans have you got with regards to coming back over and being able to start training again?
Yeah, well, I think Adam is going to come over here for a week in the next week or so. So he should be over here soon enough. And then I think I'll head over to Surrey and stuff after that and get back into the full swing of things. So listen, I don't think it's going to be too different for me. The only kind of thing I can think might be a problem will probably be sparring partners and whether or not people want to spar and have full contact sparring, because it's different. You know what I mean? It's different with this here now. We don't know how other people are taking it mentally and approaching it kind of that way. So I think that could be the only kind of problem. And I always bring in sparring partners from South America and stuff. So it's that might be a problem.
Being someone with obviously Top Rank and Bob, how are you going to work around trying to get back onto a show then? We know that they're putting shows on over in the US with certain travel restrictions that will be in place traveling to and from.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? Have you had talks with Bob about how you can kind of get back onto a show?
Yeah. Oh no, let's not. I'll be on a show here in the UK. I think early August. So it's it's a good thing that Top Rank and MTK have a good relationship with both Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn and Sky Sports and BT. So
there's plenty of options there. I'm not too worried about that. And once I go to camp here in England, that will be me there. So I'll not be coming home or going back or anything like that. That'll be me there for the full duration, and it's something that I'm not even worried about.
You obviously, you've had 8 fights with Adam Booth now. How have you found working with Adam?
I think he's probably the best coach I've worked with. Even mentally as well as a coach, he knows how to handle and approach fighters, and kind of knows when to push them, knows when to pull off. So I think that's probably one of the key assets of any trainer, is to know your fighter, and he seems to pick that up very quickly. But then just his technical side of boxing, which I love, and I love the kind of thing of hitting and not being hit, and that's Adam's bread and butter. So it's been a great partnership so far, and one that I think will continue for a long time.
You've obviously had the pleasure of being and the privilege of being able to work with a number of high-end coaches. Before Adam, there was obviously Manny Robles. What are the main differences between Manny and Adam?
Yeah. I think they're just complete opposites in terms of the approach in the ring. Manny is, well, not really complete opposites, because I always do say Manny's like a Mexican style trainer, and he is Mexican, so he trains that kind of Mexican style where you're in close, you're working the body, you got that inside game. But Adam has that too, and then Manny also has a side of technical stuff which he works on, and defensive stuff. So there is a lot of differences. Manny's would be predominantly kind of Mexican, aggressive fighter, and Adams would be more kind of slick Cubanish kind of style, in my opinion. That Cuban kind of, you can see the moves, how you move, and how the body flows through it. That's in it as well, I think. So, they are different, but in terms of coaching and personalities, they're two great guys, two guys who I'll cherish forever.
Do you still speak to Manny now? Do you still have kind of interaction?
I'll be friends for life with Manny. The only reason I left LA was because I had another baby on the way, and it was tough being out there with me, my missus, and my daughter, and obviously my little son was going to be born, and I was saying, listen, in training camp, I don't be doing nothing. I'm as useless as a nice trail on a motorbike, so there's no point to having me about. You know what I mean? I'll just I just train, sleep, eat, train, sleep, eat. So I says we need to get back home closer to the family to have that kind of family support system around us.
Also, moving on to your last fight out against Vladimir Nikitin, everybody knows about the controversy that surrounded your bout with him in the Olympics. What did it feel like? How pleased and how much did it mean to you to be able to kind of right that wrong, which was obviously everybody remembers what happened back in Rio?
You know what? It was great, but I think people would probably expect me to react more to it, like that was unbelievable and that was so satisfactory, but it wasn't, because I knew back then, I knew the decision back then, and I knew what happened. Even in 2013, where I believe I beat him, I knew I'd beat him then too. So beating him and getting the decision, it was unbelievable. Yes, it was great, and it was an amazing night. But my satisfaction was when I signed my contract with Top Rank, and I was able to look and see where I was on the world boxing scene already, and I hadn't even threw a punch because of what happened in Rio. So, it was amazing. It was great, but I think people do expect me to be more satisfied than what I was.
When you reflect on that entire experience, do you feel like you could have gone without actually having that fight? Having that fight, was it more for something just for you? But on reflection, do you feel like you could have gone without needing it in your career to be able to go on?
100%. You see, once it was made for Belfast, and if I hadn't had it happen in Belfast, I think I probably would have had a different feeling. It was made for Belfast last August. I think that would have been the special one. But once it was cancelled, then I had made peace with it, and that was me. I was past it. I had said even then, I said to myself, listen, I would have beaten him anyway. I didn't need to prove anything. Or I beat him twice and didn't get the decision. I don't need to go in there and get a decision to know I'm better than him. I'm miles ahead of him. I was miles ahead of him already as a pro, and
it wasn't really going to be a competitive fight. He came to win, but I completely outboxed him. I felt for the full 10 rounds. Maybe lost one or two, but that having that kind of when I thought like that right away after, and I said that publicly after, and then the fight was made, it made the fight a little bit harder for me mentally, because I had to kind of put him back up on the pedestal and say, listen, this is going to be his world title fight, and try to G myself up that way instead of just overlooking him, because I'd already kind of put him in the back seat. So it was a fight which, I didn't care for, and I said that to Top Rank. I said that to the team, and says I don't care for it. It doesn't need to happen. But ESPN wanted it, storyline, everything to do with it. It's fitting for a career. It's a smart move. It's a smart business move, in terms of how I've been managed and how I've been promoted, because of the history and because of the people who had seen it and the people who are attached to it. So the fact that it happened was good.
Mick, moving on from obviously that victory then and on to the current state of play, how far off from a world title shot do you believe you are?
I believe I would have boxed for a world title in August, but so that would have been the St. Patrick's Day fight in then August. So I think I could fight in August here, fight maybe December or St. Patrick's Day again for a world title. So 2, maybe 3 fights max.
When you consider the current world champions, you've got Josh Warrington, Shakur Stevenson, who fights tonight, Kanju, Gary Russell Jr., Leo Santa Cruz. Who do you feel is the toughest out of the all of the world champions?
Best of all, in my opinion, is Gary Russell. I think he's a fantastic fighter. I think they're all fantastic fighters. I'm not going to sit here and downplay any of them. I think they all are really, really good champions. But I believe Gary Russell, his skill set is a bit more advanced than the rest.
Josh Warrington and Kanju, they had a fight seemed to be agreed, ready to kind of announce it. If that fight was to go ahead post-lockdown, how do you think that one plays out?
I don't know, but I'll just sit in front with my popcorn and watch, because that's going to be a barn burner. Like, that's going to be non-stop aggression from both guys, throwing loads of punches. I wouldn't really go against Josh for the simple fact that I went against him twice and he's proved me wrong. Now, if he was to go against me, I would obviously back myself, and I'd have to go against the man, and he wouldn't be proving me wrong. I know that, but it's a hard one. I've watched some of Kanzu, and I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched loads. He beat my old gym mate, Manny Robles Jr., and Manny's a good fighter, and he beat him well. So, it says enough. I think that says a lot about him. I don't think he'll get as much credit for that fight, because Manny's not as well known as the other guys yet. But I've seen Manny spar, and I know he was down sparring Linares and Linares captain and camp and stuff. So I know he's a good fighter, and Kanzi beat him. So it's an interesting one. It's whoever has the bigger engine, or whoever just has the smarter tactic.
Final thing, Mick, before I let you go, is somebody you'll know well, Carl Frampton. He's obviously waiting to try and get that shot with Jamal Herring for the WBO title. Once again, if that goes ahead post-lockdown, how do you think Carl gets on as he bids to become a freeweight world champion?
Listen, it's a massive task for him, especially where he is in his career now. He's in the twilight years, the last kind of few fights left in him. But I would never do Carl, because you've seen what he's done in the past. The fact that the way he went and beat Leo Santa Cruz in New York, a guy who nobody wanted to really fight, or nobody thought he had a chance against, and he went and beat him. It was a good fight, and even the rematch was a good fight too. So, can he beat Jamal Herring? Jamal's a big 130. But is he hurting himself to make the weight? I don't know. It's an interesting one. There's loads of different kind of things you could think of, and points you could argue. When they stood beside each other in Vegas the last time Carl fought, I was like, that's a giant versus a leprechaun, and the size difference was huge. But obviously, if they're both 9 stone or 9 stone 4 or whatever it is on the scales, or 9 stone 3 on the scales, does it really matter? Interesting fight. Who wins? I don't know. I'll lean towards Carl, but I don't know.
Mick, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Before I do let you go, though, what would you like to say to everyone who tunes in to watch our interview?
Listen, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And just stay safe out there. My opinion, Corona's gone, but I can't say that publicly. So hopefully things get back to normal and we get back to watching boxing and competing in boxing very soon.
I think we'll leave the Corona talk for another day, Mick. Well, it's been a pleasure to catch up, mate. Look after yourself. I hope you and your family stay safe and well, and I'll hopefully see you soon in the near future. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, Andy. Thank you, mate.